Hello and welcome to Train Sim TV. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the all-new Class 66 Enhancement Pack 2.0, Volumes 1 and 2 from Armstrong Powerhouse. This pack has been eagerly awaited for some months now, quite a long time. I can't remember when it was first announced, but it finally came out yesterday as of the 3rd of September. So I've got my hands on it, and this video is just going to take you for a short drive with one of the GBRF examples. I think this is the low emissions audio as well. There's two sound sets on these, so you get standard ones and the low emissions. So you do actually, there's actually quite a lot of a difference between the two as well. You also get separate audio at number 1 and 2 ends as well, which is quite cool. But no, I'm really chuffed with the pack so far from what I've driven with it. Now, scenario we're on is one of the Midland mainline heavy freight scenario pack scenarios, which is the on-track simulation pack available from Just Trains, and this is one of the updated scenarios that's going to be coming for the wider update very soon. So I am underway working on that update as I promised I would be. 6 scenarios currently out of 10 have been set up now to use the new 66, and hopefully the other 4 will be done later this evening, actually the same day I record this video, and then hopefully it won't be too long before I can get it to over to the installers and get the manuals updated and over in a release for you. But anyway, enough of that for now, and let's get straight into getting this little beauty set up. So we are on 66732. We've got the first decade of 1999 to 2009. John Smith MD was in our nameplate. This is one of over 175 nameplates that actually are available for the 66 pack. These come as 2D, and I can understand why. I used to get myself a bit upset with why they're not 3D, but when there's so many of them, I can understand why 2D is the preferable choice. And to be fair, they don't look too bad, to be honest. I think, to be fair, I think most of them, if not all, are represented. There might be 1 or 2 that potentially might not be. I did come across one that weren't showing, but it might just been the case that I was putting the wrong one down. Maybe it wasn't set up for that number, but you can do some really cool stuff with these. You can change all your logos around the cab sides, the nose, on the sides. Depending on what example you're placing down, you can do a lot of customization with it for your scenario needs, compared to in previous enhancement pack, where it wasn't so customizable. It was quite limited on what you could do. And then it was limited in like the headlight casing as well. You had to then go and get mods from elsewhere. It became quite cluster mess really of where you had things downloaded from and what you needed for scenarios. It made it quite tricky sometimes as well. But it's now contained in its own pack, and Volume 1 and 2 are both available. They came out at the same time. Volume 1 is the base pack. You need to have the base pack. Volume 2 is the special celebrity liveries, mainly GBRF examples. There's quite a few not included, which I'll go into in a bit more detail shortly. Just a few that I'm quite surprised aren't there, really. But yeah, whether there's plans maybe for another volume of liveries at some point, I'm not sure. Maybe will be. But just as a side note, with Volume 2, a worthy cause. £2 of every out of everyone's purchase goes towards the Prostate Cancer UK charity. So very worthy cause. That was based on with the late Paul Taylor, who was a GBRF manager, helped AP heavily in like gathering recording material, that's trips and stuff like that. So yeah, very worthy cause. And Paul Taylor also helped JT out as well. In a lot of areas over the years as well. So yeah, I can only happily purchase that pack and know my £2 gone to a good charity in that respect. So Volume 2 is £7.99 and Volume 1 is £19.99. However, if you did own the original 66 Enhancement Pack, you would get a nice little addition off there. It will go down to £14.99, which, to be quite honest, I think is an absolute great little deal. So we're just at the signal at Iceland Curve. So 6 Mike 60 is an empty ballast train working from Whitemore Yard, which terminates down the line at Mount Sorrel. This may sound simple enough, however, on arrival, you further instructions from the ground staff. Your max speed is 60 miles per hour. Right, GSMR is set up in the scenario just to control and G. A bit like, I think it was the Class 92 pack that did this. It's a way around of doing it. It hasn't got any clip points, but it works. Same happens for the NRN as well, if you need to use that, I believe. I've got the manual open, so we'll cover that. Livery-wise, in the base pack, you get 19 with all the weathered variants, and on the GBRF Special Celebrities Volume 2 pack, you get, I think, 21 liveries. Now we need to change ourselves to goods brake timing. Now to do this, you need to put the electromotive computer on, so Control and number pad Enter gets this on. Change your brake timing, you need to go down to Maintenance, which is down the bottom right, down to Air Brake Setup, and like so. That's now set. On to the data power. That is all set. DSD is now active. We need some instrument lights. The lights off, I don't want them on. We are good to go. Now you'll see when you put brake time on, it takes a lot longer to the for the brakes to come off as well. Right, so let's get the brakes off. As you can see, as I mentioned, I did a little pause in the video. As I was on about the brakes, you can see the timing. When you change it over to goods, it takes a lot longer for the actual brake gauge to get around, as opposed to on the passenger, it's actually quite quick. Big difference in that. You can hear on these sounds, these are the low emission ones, and they're not as not as rattly as the standard ones. And they have a different horn as well, so a bit more of a softer horn. On the old Enhancement Pack, it was really hard to hear it. You can actually hear it now. Now, I don't think there's a horn factor for the low emission. I think you just literally get the one horn. You can do motor factor, and you do clag factor. There isn't a turbo factor, from what I've had a look at and tried to figure out. I'm already speeding coming across this junction. Now, originally, yesterday when I had a play with it, I found that there were some issues with the bogies. They've actually now been fixed. So if you did notice that like half your bogies weren't turning, like your wheels weren't turning, and the actual bogie chassis themselves weren't pivoting to the curvature of the curved radius, just download your pack, and that will fix that. That was just one of the issues I spotted. So AP fixed that pretty quick, and I did send him off a mail. He did get back to me, so thank you for that. Lob it into full 8. One thing I do like as well is the sounds are very nice, really bassy when you're in the cab. I do like that. It's a huge difference. When I jumped into the Freightliner one yesterday, the difference was just astronomical compared to the old sound pack. The quality is so much better. The squeaks and stuff on the power handle as well. But originally, I think it was really like an old clicking sound that was going up in the notches. Brakes maybe, because we are following a stopping unit. all cab textures have all had like refinements. The gauges have all been redone. You can actually read them. There's a lot of quality textures in there as well. The electromotive stuff has some work on it as well. That now all lights up red. I don't think it lit up red originally. Nice new sounds on the windows. I did have an issue on one, I think it might be number one end, where the gauges weren't lit up on the speedometer and the proofing lights were just showing the markers, so I'm not sure if that's been fixed or not yet. I don't think we'll really see that today. I'm going to take it easy up to this signal. You've got loads of different variations you can do in the scenario editing as well, like you can change the light casing, nameplates on and off, you can turn the mirrors on and off. You can add like brake tread stimulation as well. You can actually add that on or off. You can set up the GSMR or NRN. There's a fair bit you can do. It's got 6 modelled headlight clusters with LED or non-LED. Improved cab visuals, detailed internal and external audio, EM2000 screen, which is there. NRN GSMR, there is a simple setup. You've got wheel slip protection, dynamic exhaust, cooler group and temperature simulation. You've got cold start, which is something I haven't done yet, and it does come with 3 scenarios as well for the AP Midland mainline, which is the revamp route or the DTG route. I haven't run them the scenarios yet. I'm too busy setting up these ones. But I will get around to having a play of them, probably on the stream. Hopefully, at least get one done on the Friday stream. See the signal. Shit, it's around there somewhere. So liveries included in volume 1 are your EWS, so you can do EWS or with the DB logo or unbranded. DB Schenker with the long logo or the square DB logo, and then you've got variations such as like the Ukraine one, powered by HVO, We Are the Future. You've got Maritime with original lights or LED. Freightliner with loads of varying different options, like with the logos as low as 0 injuries 40 years, revised logos and unbranded. You've got Power Haul Freightliner again, with all the varying different changes to logos. Genesee in Wyoming, which is the orange and black livery, which is the more newer Freightliner branding. GBRF basic liveries, so there's a number of GBRF standard liveries in volume 1, without having to have volume 2. So you got the early days ones, so they come under like Freightliner GBRF 1 without depot plates, with first logo. Europort with LED, yellow base with or without the Europort stuff, and then again with LEDs or none, or with and without. There's so many different ones, and you got rail freight GBRF grey with the Europort livery on there. Like the logo, you've got Metronet. First GBRF with the like the Barbie style livery with the pink and white sort of swooshes around the cab ends. You got direct rail freight services. Direct rail services, sorry, not direct rail freight. Making names up now. You got the older livery, you got the Compass livery, then you got with like the Freightliner logos on as well when they got transferred. Unbranded. You got Advenza Freight, Colas, Colas Rail lettering, Colas Rail Freight lettering, Colas Rail Freight lettering and revised logos or unbranded. A Fastline, you've got to go back in time a little bit. To a cracking livery that was as well. It didn't last very long, but it was a good livery. External variations, you've got nameplates. It says on there over 150, but it says on the website it's over 175, so it's one or the other. Make your mind up. You've got all those. You've got cool groups, so you've got standard or low emissions. You've got couplers such as Hook and Buckeye, which you can on the EWS one, you can have the Buckeyes on or off. You can actually configure that. Light clusters, original, bug eye, revised, original LED, revised LED, bug eye LED. And then you've got mirrors. You can have the side mirrors on or off. All sorts of features like tractive effort, details in the manual, generator transmission, variable performance, wheel slip protection. This is where it really makes these come into their own. And if you've got one of these scenarios that's going to have interesting weather, then you really will find a difference from what it used to be like. I drove a scenario out of Tunstead yesterday on the JT stream, and I'd driven that scenario previously with the old Enhancement Pack, and my god, what a difference. You really do have to work the locomotive. It really does actually feel like you're driving a heavy train. Fantastic. I think we are set correctly. The signal should change when we go over that magnet. Get the ground signal. You've got adhesion stuff for the seasonal and weather. You've got time of day stuff. Tunnel details as well. I'm not going to go through all these manual details. You can give these a read yourself. There's quite a lot to go through. Stuff to do with the brakes and tread brake simulation. Disc brake physics are turned on by default, as most rolling stock these locomotives have. Hold is fitted with type of brake. You can change the simulation brake by pressing Control Shift and B. I didn't know that. Control Shift and B. Oh yeah, it's there. It's in the top right. I've got tread brake at the minute. Variable performance, stuff to do with gradients. So this is the new thing that AP put in, where TS Classic by default gradients of 1 in 185 or steeper have an effect. Basically, he did some work around to get that to be more realistic as well. Loads of detail about the cool group and temperature simulations. There's a section about the M2000 on what you can do in the screens. So you can do data, engine monitoring and stuff like that. Power data, cooling system data, unit information, running totals menu. There's actually quite a lot more you can do with this, I think, from compared to the last setup. So that is actually quite customizable. You can do quite a few things. I don't think slow speed works though, sadly, from what I can figure out. I did see someone mention about that somewhere, but I can't see it, to be honest, which is a shame. Driver vigilance and traction, motor volume, which is the factors. Horn variants, so new low emissions soft tones available. European ones are on 66734, 93, 99, 306 and 316. Original ones all remain on the same locos. You can do your horn factor, your usual key combination. Trailing mode as well, you can put trailing mode on for a dead locomotive. There is trail ones as a suffix, but by default the engine will be idling. You have to shut it down, put dead, the loco number. Which is actually something I do on one of the scenarios. I need to set that up. NRN you set up in the actual scenario itself. So you'd put, you know, your number string. If you double click the locomotive, you'd put the colon, whatever it is, NRN equals, and then the number of your zone. Or same again for the GSMR. So the colon, and then GSMR equals, and then head code and the signal number. And then to activate it in the scenario is Control G. It'll do its thing. It'll punch it in. And if it was at NRN, it'll be Control and N. And then you just press it again if you want to deregister. So there's quite a lot you can do here. Dynamic exhaust again is the clag factor, so you can play with that. Got an exhaust cam, which is a new one for this. So you can listen up here and have a listen. That's the hiss you get. I find it's a lot more responsive as well when you actually put power on and off. I find it actually spools down quicker now, but I feel it's a lot more realistic. It will be a lot more realistic than the last pack. AI horn is a feature that's now in all the packs. If the routes have it set up, this route does have it set up now, so you can find that horns could blast at certain places as you pass like station ends and whistle boards. that's set up properly. Cold start, there's a cold start guide. Looks pretty simple, to be honest. I'm not going to bore you guys with doing the shunting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to load up into another scenario. I'm just going to give you a quick blast with a different variant of the 66. I'm going to give it a quick blast out of Tunstead, just to show you what the sound's like on the other variant, and just how hard you have to work to get the locomotive running. And then we'll continue our talk as well. Right, we are in Tunstead, and we are now on a Freightliner standard version. So this one, as you can see, has got different customization on the front. So it's got the Genesee Wyoming logos, it's got the 0 injuries. This is a heavy train, so we're going to just take a drive out of here. I'm just going to show you how this thing handles the heavy train, because the last one was an empty rake. So taking the brakes off, just to show you as well, is when you open the windows and close them, they do change volume. I'm going to leave the DSD off just for this one, just because I want to go through it on manual as well. Just release the brakes. Now with this one, you need to get the amps building as the brakes are coming off, because you're on a 1 in 90 uphill gradient and it does roll back. You need to build before you get the brakes fully off. You can hear the difference in the audio on the standard ones. Horn differences as well. There's a fair difference. And this one you can actually change the horn, so if you do. You get a few different ones to play with there. Taking the brakes off fully now. The other challenge is trying to keep it at 5 miles an hour. One thing as well to note is on these ones they have a General Motors branding on the amp meter. The other ones have electromotive on the low emissions. These ones are a lot more rattly in the cab as well, as you can hear the rattling. So there's a few bits and bobs to cover. So we've already mentioned about the standard and low emission sounds, different audio at different ends. Engine audio varies depending on whether the loco is revving up and down, more grumbly, or obviously under load when revving under like steady. Engine idle becomes more defined and rhythmic when compressor is active. Full cab visual overhaul, higher quality shading on the gauging, weathering, realistic transparent windows. Master keys added. The master key was already there on the last one, but it's changed. I think it's black now. It was yellow originally. Notch indicator added above the power handle. Okay, didn't know that. Oh yeah. That's new. The speedometer on the 66/6 cab correctly shows maximum permitted speed as 65 miles to 75, which is what we are on a 6 actually. So yep, 65. You can see that notched on there. I think these sounds are absolutely fantastic. I was absolutely blown away when I first got into the cam, loaded up. Just the difference was just astronomical. Variable speed on the windscreen wiper, so you can go faster and slower. Power it right up. External windscreen wipers only move at one end now. They used to work at both ends when we used to turn them on. TPWS light illuminates when keying in, which is down here. That all lights up. 1 second delay between passing over AWS magnet and the sound. Headlights only provide illumination before sunrise and after sunset. The visible driver automatically moves to whichever cab you're in, so it's a dynamic driver. In-cab details which state the locomotive number and cab number, so that's all up there, tells you which one you're in. If the main reservoir falls below 6.5 bar, the emergency brakes will apply. I've not had that yet. AI train wipers when it rains, so that's cool, so you see AI have wipers on. Didn't know that. The frequency at which the ticking Spirax valve varies from locomotive to locomotive increases in main reservoir pressure if it's higher. Air drain sounds when selecting notch 3 and above to keep doing so every 57 seconds until the power is returned back to notch 3. This component helps keep the moisture out of the air system. 66793 the /6 physics as per reality. Power is automatically if the loco goes above 77 miles per hour. Emergency brakes apply if you go over 80, and sander only applies below 9 miles per hour. But only applies sand at below 9, so if you put it up, it doesn't apply sand. There's a driving guide and stuff in the manual as well, and how to place them in your own scenarios and numbering details if you want to do some configuration. No creators will need to have a read of that. And it also comes with 3 scenarios, as I mentioned before, the APMML. It's like there's a rail tour, a limestone working, and I'm not sure what the one is. Temple Mills to Croft. That'd be a aggregates working. I can't quite tell the picture. I haven't actually driven them scenarios yet, so I will be doing. Some credits as well. Nicholas Shishan for the scripting, EM2000. David Adams for sound recording and general assistance, and Tish Ronstock also for the Buckeye coupling model. Well, there's some credits in there for those guys. I'm just going to go to volume 2 as well, just have a quick brief talk of that. So, comes with many liveries, although there's a fair few liveries that I feel could have been added. Like, there's no Pride liveries or anything like that, which is quite odd, because they're not exactly a new feature, so I've no idea why they've been omitted. No doubt someone will probably make some reskins for those, but it's quite strange how they've just been totally ignored. Evening Star as well. Which one's Evening Star? It's 779, which is the green livery. This one. It's not got the bell. The bell's not there, which is a bit odd. Which is a shame, because that's quite a notable feature. So no idea how come that's not been added. Must be a reason. But yeah, it's a shame that's not there, because there was a freeware livery on the old Enhancement Pack that had the bell on it. Matt Wilson from VP did that. I mean, there's a lot of liveries that could have been done, like Railfest, not Railfest, the Rail 200 inspiration liveries, the Belmond Explorer livery that's just appeared, Saturn Carlisle 150 livery that's only just appeared. But to be honest, I know GBRF outshot these liveries quicker than you can shake a stick at them. There's that many liveries coming out these days that there's always something new, so it's hard to keep up, I understand. So maybe we might see another volume of liveries at some point. To be honest, I'm not fussed if we get a nice sizable pack. Again, even if it was another charity pack, I wouldn't grumble at that. But you do get a fair lot in this one. But yeah, there's just a few ones there I've just mentioned that it's quite odd. The Pride ones especially, I'm quite surprised that there's not a single one of those in there because they're well known. Liveries you do get is the DBPD ports, Freightliner Barden, Freightliner 1, which is the pink magenta livery. You got some more GBRF ones, 701. Ukraine on 708. Rail Freight Medite on 709. GBRF Aggregates Industries, GBRF West Coaster, GBRF Maritime. Another one I've noticed isn't in there. There's like the tube ones. Which is strange. NHS one's in there. Platinum Jubilee. Newell and Wright Transport. Prostate cancer one's there. Rightly so. We've got the, let's say, 779, which is Evening Star. The Mex on 780. We've got the Charity Rail Tours on 782. Rail Freight Biffa. The large logo one on 789. GB Rail Freight's BR Train Load Special Livery. HS2 and Royal Scotsman. A bold claim that wasn't in there on a private chat the other day, which it is there. I had no idea it was in there, to be honest. Another notable one I've not mentioned, which isn't there, is the Climate Hero DB Green livery. Which is strange. But there must be a reason why some of these haven't been added. But the ones you would expect to be seen. Well, there is opportunity for people to do some reskins, but maybe we're going to see another volume of liveries at some point. That I say I'm not fussed if we do. I'm happy to see more liveries. This thing though sounds absolutely fantastic and a great addition for the price. And if you had, let's say, if you had the original Enhancement Pack, you get it for $14.99, and then you get the volume 2 on top of that. It's what, £23, just under, which I don't think is bad at all. But what you get is a fair lot. It's a very comprehensive pack over the two. There's lots to do, lots to play with, and I've already seen loads of scenarios already appearing, so this is going to be heavily seen for a long time in people's scenarios. It's an everyday loco. It's going to be used, so it's one to grab. What we'll do, we're going to take this into the side in here onto the loop, and we're going to end things there. So if you want to pick up the packs, they're in the description. Do have a look, and thank you if you're still with us at this point. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen and heard, and my thoughts and just some views. Yeah, I'm just so glad to see it, and I'm working, as I say, the update for the scenario pack is coming very soon for the Midland Mainline Heavy Freight Pack. So that will be with you as soon as possible. You'll get emails if you've already purchased it at JT. Email will go out to customers, and if your customer hasn't bought it yet and you're waiting, then not long, it'll soon be there. Wonder what we're going to get next out of AP. Are we going to see the VP185 HST pack next? Fill that final part of the jigsaw. Up and down goods loop. This scenario will do a run around, then head back off towards Buxton, which I'm not going to do in this video. It's just a little show off, just to give you an idea of the sound. Let's give it one last blast. Very high quality audio. So hats off on that one. It's absolutely cracking. It does have brake squealing as well. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, hit your notification bell for future videos from ourselves, and we'll catch you again very soon for another video. Take care and bye for now.